Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here, the Three Topics Gamer, here to share with you another one of my reviews. This time I'm giving you just my initial thoughts after just coming back from the theater from seeing The Suicide Squad. Now, this movie was directed by James Gunn and has a very recognizable and star-studded cast of characters playing all kinds of different sorts of evil characters from the comic books. And I can just say, from just having gotten back from the theater less than maybe 30 minutes ago, I'm just going to come out and say it right now. I had a blast with this film. Way better than David Ayer's version of Suicide Squad that came out like a number of years ago that I only saw once at theaters and just had really no interest in seeing again. But if you guys had any doubts or any concerns, you can put them at ease. This was a great film to see, and I would even suggest seeing it in theaters if you can. I know that this film, you can watch it if you have HBO Go Max, but I felt like I want to see this on the biggest screen possible, and I can definitely say it very much enhanced my experience. Now, if I'm going into too many spoilers, pretty much the standard plot of a Suicide Squad mission, or plot movie, to be frank. You have Amanda Waller who assembles these group of criminals to go on a crazy mission that is sure to get a number of them killed, but she wants this mission completed at all costs, and she is not afraid to kill any of them if they happen to disobey or go against the good of the mission. And that's really all I want to say in terms of plot, because there's a lot to go over about this film. But overall, I thought that the primary story was pretty straightforward. It doesn't really get too complicated, and therefore it's pretty easy to follow. I thought the movie length was pretty solid. I think this film kind of ranks at being like 2 hours and like 12 minutes long, which I thought was a decent time. I'm glad it didn't go to like 2.5 hours long. I think the film would have dragged it a little bit too much. The characters, I think everybody in the cast did a great job. Idris Elba as Bloodsport is clearly the lead of the film. He does a great job. However, it was pretty interesting to kind of see him have to replace Will Smith as being the primary lead of this film. And one thing I can tell you don't have to worry about is that this film has no connection to the first film. There are certain elements that are taken from that film, but it is very much kind of like a soft reboot. They acknowledge that some characters that were in that first Suicide Squad movie are in this film know each other, but it is no relation to that first film. Other characters that I thought really stood out. John Cena as Peacemaker. This is easily his best role. I wasn't really too fond of him in Fast 9. I thought his performance was kind of wooden, but he was really good in this film, and you can tell he had a blast with this role. Other characters that were also in this film, I thought Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn knocks it out of the park every time. I thought certain characters like Polka Dot Man and Weasel, and oh dear, King Shark. King Shark is absolutely adorable in this film. I never would have expected a character who pretty much everything he does, he just eats people, would be an adorable character. And this movie also has a good amount of heart that I really was not expecting. This film in some cases turns into other heartfelt family type films, and that was not something I was expecting from a James Gunn film. Now, the way he projects this film is going to be very favorable to people who know his work and know his style of storytelling. So if you are a fan of James Gunn films, I think this is something you're definitely going to enjoy. But one thing that I cannot deny and be flat out surprised about was just the amount of violence. I mean, I knew this was going to be R, but this movie gets a hard R. This is without question one of the most violent films I've seen in a while. This movie has an insanely high body count for a comic book related film. I mean, I think back to other rated R comic book related films I've seen in the past, like movies like Sin City or Watchmen or I don't know, Logan, or heck, even Deadpool. I mean, those movies were definitely rated R for a reason, but this one easily outclassed it in terms of the amount of violence and gore. I mean, people get killed off in some brutal ways, and there is even some characters that you don't expect to get killed off. I mean, this is Suicide Squad, so no one is safe. So don't get too attached to certain characters. There might be some characters that you think are there to like have like a really big moment, and you're gonna see them do something cool, only for them to get kind of killed off, and you're gonna be like, wow, I was not expecting that character to go out the way they did. Or I was expecting that character to do something pretty cool, and what their special ability or technique was kind of silly. So I'm like, why are they part of this team? But overall, if you've got a sensitive stomach, this might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable because there are definitely some kills in this film that I was thinking was, even for me, like a little bit over the top. Like, I understand these guys are criminals and villains and not very great people, but sometimes even I thought the violence was a little bit excessive at times, but not in a bad way. And I think when it comes to some of the characters, I even was surprised with how much it made you care for some of them, even though you know that deep down they're kind of bad people. You recognize that they're bad people, but some of these characters are being blackmailed. Some of them are just being blind by pure devotion. Some of them have very tragic backgrounds and are just being projected as being a bad person. They sort of embrace that, and that's something that the first Suicide Squad movie just could not do. I mean, I generally did not really care about any of those characters in that first film. They were just sort of there to take up space. But this time, I very much cared for characters. And when certain characters got killed off, I was really sad. And, you know, some characters even have some heroic ways of going out, which I was very much happy to see on screen. This was a movie I very much did enjoy seeing in theaters, and I would absolutely see it a second time in theaters. And I definitely want to own this when it comes out on Blu-ray. So this easily gets my highest recommendation. This is easily the best film that I've not only seen this year, but I would say it beats any film I saw last year. So as you can tell, I had a great time with this film. This film, I think, is going to work with a lot of people, but I do think that there's a small group of people that I don't think this film is going to work with. But I think that group is going to be very, very small. So if I had to give The Suicide Squad from 2021, because I got to add that, a rating, I think I'm going to give this an A-. Please check this out in theaters if you get the chance, and then probably see it multiple times if you have it on HBO Go Max. So yes, definitely check out this film, as it's a lot of fun, and hopefully you will have as good of a time seeing this film as I did. So those are my thoughts on The Suicide Squad. If you did happen to enjoy this review, or would like to share your thoughts on the film if you happen to see it also, make sure you share your thoughts with me and everyone else in the comments down below. And please do not forget to like and subscribe to keep track of me on my future videos. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you next time.